Hi. Hi. Don't retire from something. Have something to retire to. By Harry Emerson Fosdick. Now that quote was given to me by my son Marty because he knows that I put these videos out on retirement. He's got a very successful video thing himself called Marty's Garden. But that quote, don't retire from something, retire to something. How do you feel about your retirement? If you're coming up for retirement, what are you going to do? If you're in the early stages of retirement and you're still searching, what are you going to do? I had no problem with that. Even though I retired at 59, or just a month before I turned 59 actually, I knew that I would have plenty to do because I was already involved in a lot of things. What about you? Are you involved in other things apart from your work? Or are you one of those persons who puts in those long 9 and 10-hour days, gets home worn out, doesn't belong to anything really, just watches TV? Not a good idea. Well before you retire, you need, if you can, to join various organisations, form groups of friends outside of your place of work. I did that. Way back in my mid-30s, I joined Toastmasters International, which is a big organisation worldwide, which teaches communication and leadership skills. The emphasis of most people is how to learn to speak in public. Now you might think, well, I don't want to do that. I'm not advocating that you particularly join Toastmasters, but there are so many organisations you could belong to. Service organisations. Organisations which will give you a sense of purpose and at the same time companionship, camaraderie, and a feeling of you're really doing something worthwhile. There are lots of them around. Rotary International, for example. I remember seeing a book, it must have been that thick, with all the various clubs worldwide of Rotary. Hundreds of thousands of clubs. And they've been going for a long, long while. I'd say over 100 years. I could be wrong there, but I think it would be so. Over 100 years, Rotary. And then Lions clubs, Lions International. There are so many of them that you can join. You might want to join a service club, but there'll be something out there for you that you can join, and preferably as early as you can, well before you retire. And then when you do retire, you can perhaps step up your activities in that organisation, become a committee member, become the president of the club, even the president of an area containing several clubs. That's up to you, how deeply you involve yourself. But you will find a sense of purpose. Joining some organisation which really appeals to you, which really grabs your attention, and then deeply involving yourself in it. As I said, I did that. But Toastmasters was only one of mine. I joined a number of volunteer organisations, put in the time, and I used to head off on a Monday morning just as if I were going to work. Except I didn't have to get up so early, I didn't have to travel so far, and I'd go to an organisation where I could leave any time of the day I wanted to. Sure, it was voluntary work. Sure, I wasn't getting paid for it. But what I was getting paid for is by the way of feeling and purpose, that I was doing something to help others. I was coming home at the end of my day, a very short working day I might add, feeling very good about it. You can do the same. Don't retire from something, retire to something. It's something worth really remembering. You could spend a long, long time in that retiring to something, being in something, doing something, becoming something, being something. It's up to you. What you choose is up to you. Pick something that you really enjoy. A group or organisation you really would like to belong to, and join them. And then when you retire, continue with that. Or if you're already retired, search around now to find that group which will help you to do something and enjoy doing it in your retirement.